É isso aí, galera do YouTube. É isso aí, o lançamento teste aí do Falcon Heavy. A expectativa, né, para esse lançamento, que com certeza vai dar tudo certo aí para a SpaceX. E vamos ver, né, se ele vai se tornar mesmo um dos maiores, quer dizer, o maior foguete, né, do mundo, né, já, já construído, já fabricado. Vamos participar, galera, dessa live? Mais um teste aí do Falcon Heavy aqui no seu canal Astronomia na Veia.
We do have some very interesting payloads going up on this flight that we'll talk about later on in the webcast. We'll also walk you through the mission profile because this ain't your typical Falcon launch. We've got 28 engines, 3 boosters, 3 separation vents, 3 landing attempts, and there's going to be a lot of activity happening all at once. So this test flight is bound to be exciting one way or another. All right, we've got a ton to walk you through today, so let's get going.
Hi, I'm Michael Hammersley, a materials engineer in the avionics department. I'm sure you can hear it. To my right, we have a live view of Falcon Heavy on the pad at Kennedy Space Center. Falcon Heavy is essentially 3 Falcon 9 rockets all strapped together, which means it can carry much larger payloads not only to Earth orbit, but to the Moon and Mars as well. So like Falcon 9, Falcon Heavy is a 2-stage launch vehicle. The big difference is that the first stage in Falcon Heavy is comprised of 3 cores, while Falcon 9 has only 1. Now, each one of these 3 cores has 9 M1D engines, making for a total of 27 engines overall. Altogether, those engines produce 5 million pounds of thrust, which is equal to 18 747s at takeoff. In fact, the engines are producing so much power that we don't run them at full thrust. Total of 27 engines overall. Altogether, those engines produce 5 million pounds of thrust, which is equal to 18 747s at takeoff. In fact, the engines are producing so much power that we don't run them at full thrust all at once. So during ascent, Falcon Heavy will throttle its thrust up and down in both the side and the center cores in order to balance the aerodynamic and structural loads on the vehicle. So about halfway through the first stage's burn, the 2 side boosters will separate and come back to Earth for a simultaneous landing at Cape Canaveral Air Force Station. More about that a bit later. At that point, the mission proceeds very much like a standard Falcon 9 flight. The center core will keep on firing for another minute to burn all of its fuel, and it will perform a standard stage separation from the second stage on top. This second stage, with the fairing right at the very top there, the second stage is exactly the same as any other Falcon 9 flight, except we've loaded a bit more helium onto it this time. Now, that second stage will be sending our payload way out into a Mars-crossing orbit, which we'll also get into a bit later. But all in all, with a successful launch, Falcon Heavy is going to be the largest and most powerful operational. We're very excited to be launching it today. Let's check in on exactly how it's doing.
Good afternoon. I'm John Innsbrucker, the Falcon Principal Integration Engineer at SpaceX. We're currently at T-minus 17 minutes, 40 seconds and counting down. The good news is that all systems are go for launch.
Aí eles falando sobre os 3 estágios, né? Que voltarão para pouso, né? Se tudo der certo, aí vai ser a operação mais bem sucedida da SpaceX.
And we began loading a couple minutes ago on the second stage box tank. Now this is the same method that we use on the single-core Falcon 9. It just scaled to handle 3 first-stage boosters. Now we're loading liquid oxygen and kerosene. We do that because in order to support combustion, you need oxygen. And in the vacuum of outer space, there isn't any. So we bring our own liquid oxygen, chilled and densified. You may have heard densified in the past. That allows us to pack the maximum amount into the LOX tanks on the Falcon Heavy. Now our fuel is refined petroleum, RP1. That's a essentially just a purified kerosene. It's a safe propellant, easily available, has a lot of history. For example, the Saturn V first stage, flown from the very pad you see on the monitor from the moon missions, used kerosene and liquid oxygen. Now, the big news this afternoon has been the weather, and we've eaten up most of our launch window. Now, we won't have the ability to hold the countdown any further now that we are into liquid oxygen loading. The good news is that the winds are looking good. We're working no issues on the Falcon Heavy. However, if there is an issue in the last minutes, we won't be able to launch today. There is a backup date available tomorrow. I've said it before, launch is hard, and Falcon Heavy is no exception. We're essentially counting down 3 rockets simultaneously. So the SpaceX team is going to be conservative in case anything pops up in the last minutes. But as the energy and the enthusiasm from the team gathering below me outside of Mission Control Center X is growing, we are go at T-minus 15 minutes and 40 seconds and counting.
My name is Brian, and I'm part of the software team here, and I'm standing just outside Mission Control as the crowd gathers behind me. We're all anxiously awaiting this very...
Só para vocês terem uma noção de como está todo mundo eufórico com esse lançamento do Falcon Heavy. Tá vendo que tudo está correndo bem, o teste vai ser um sucesso, a galera bem animada aí. A galera bem animada aí da SpaceX, todo mundo comemorando mais esse feito histórico.
Now, Falcon 1 was the first rocket we developed, and it was pretty small relative to Falcon 9 and Falcon Heavy.
Se tudo der certo, o Falcon Heavy vai subir.
Screen is over 230 feet tall. Falcon 1 stood only about 70 feet tall and could only carry about a ton to orbit. However, despite its small size, Falcon 1 served a very large purpose. It was our roadmap to using modern technologies to engineer a vehicle that was not just more reliable, but was less expensive than alternatives. Now, we had 3 test flights of the Falcon 1 before we found success. But on that 4th Falcon 1 flight, it became the first privately developed liquid-fueled rocket to reach Earth orbit. Now, fast forward to today, and SpaceX has had 49 successful rocket launches. We have recovered 21 first stages, and we have reflown 6 of those. We have had 14 Dragon launches and have successfully reused the spacecraft as well. Now, our next step on this journey is just minutes from now, when we'll attempt the first test flight of our heavy lift launch vehicle. Now, there have been many challenges along this long road, and it has not been easy. But no matter what happens today, it has all been worth it. One of the many challenges we're hoping to overcome with this test flight is the recovery of all 3 cores of the Falcon Heavy first stage. Although we have demonstrated success with the recovery of a single core, 3 is on a whole nother level. So let's check in with Michael to get an overview of what that story may look like.
At SpaceX, our primary goal is to enable people to live on other planets, most notably Mars. But it's hard to do this without dramatically lowering the cost of access to space.
A SpaceX dá boas-vindas a todos do planeta.
So we've been successful at landing and reusing Falcon 9 rockets for over 2 years now, and Falcon Heavy aims to continue this trend of reusability. So today, we'll be attempting to recover all 3 of the first stage cores by using both of our landing methods, by land and by sea. So the side boosters have actually been used before on missions TICOM 8 and CRS-9, and at the time of booster separation, during ascent, the side cores will still be going slowly enough to turn around. So it makes sense to return them to Cape. They'll be executing a 3-burn maneuver to get them back to landing zones 1 and 2 and Cape Canaveral Air Force Station. You may have heard of landing zone 1. Landing zone 2 is an identical landing pad right next to it for Falcon Heavy landings. The center core will be going too fast to efficiently return it to Cape Canaveral Air Force Station. So we're using the autonomous spaceport drone ship to get about 300 miles off the Florida coast. It will also be executing reburn to get there. So if all goes well after launch, we'll have 3 first stage cores back on Earth, 2 for the second time, and a wealth of data for perfecting airplane-like operation in the future. So countdown is still proceeding nominally. So let's check in again on how Falcon Heavy is doing.
We're just past T-minus 12 minutes in the countdown of the test flight of Falcon Heavy. Fuel is completely loaded.
Vamos torcer para que esse lançamento da SpaceX, né, do Falcon Heavy, dê tudo certo, que ele venha a ser um sucesso aí tanto para a exploração espacial, tanto para as viagens espaciais futuras.
Liquid oxygen propellant loading on the first stages will end between T-minus 4 minutes and T-minus 3 minutes. Liquid oxygen loading on the second stage is the last one to finish, ending by T-minus 2 minutes. Now, in addition to loading propellant, the team is preparing to perform their final checks of the Merlin engines. We'll begin chill-in of the Merlin engine turbopumps with liquid oxygen, as typical at T-minus 7 minutes like we do on Falcon 9 flights. We'll also be verifying valves and using the thrust vector control actuators to move the engines to verify the actuators are working correctly. Now, as we get to T-minus 4 minutes, the clamp on the top of the strung back will open. You can see it just behind the Falcon Heavy. That entire structure will move about 1.5 degrees away from the rocket. At liftoff, it will move the rest of the way to clear Falcon Heavy, just like Falcon 9 flights. At minus 1 minute mark, the flight computers will go into startup mode. They'll be controlling the countdown on the Falcon Heavy. What's different in this flight, engine ignition will begin at T-minus 5 seconds on the 2 side boosters, followed 2 seconds later by the center core. Now we're continuing to watch the weather, making sure that the ground liftoff winds don't exceed the maximum, but they're looking good right now. We continue monitoring the upper altitude winds as reported by the balloons. But right now, at T-minus 10 minutes and 10 seconds and counting, the Falcon Heavy test flight is go.
Because the first flight of Falcon Heavy is a test mission, we do not have a customer spacecraft on board today. Instead, we put something a little special to SpaceX inside the fairing. Now, more often than not, on the first flight of a new rocket, engineers will choose to fly a mass simulator, which is basically a heavy object of some sort to simulate the dynamics of flying a payload, but with little consequence if the mission doesn't work out exactly as planned. And as many of you already know, we have opted to have a little fun with our mass simulator. Stacked inside the fairing is Elon's cherry red Tesla Roadster, and inside of it, a passenger. His name is Starman, but don't worry, he's not human. But he is donning the SpaceX-designed spacesuit that our human astronauts will be wearing on Crew Dragon. And if all goes well today, we hope to get some live views of it as it makes its way into space. Now, in addition to the Roadster, you might also catch a glimpse of a smaller passenger, which is a tiny little Hot Wheel Roadster carrying a tiny little star. It's a little Easter egg for today's mission, so keep your eyes peeled for that. But those are not the only payloads we're flying today. Secured inside the Roadster is another really special passenger called an ARC. An ARC is a 5D laser optical quartz storage device, which is essentially a high-tech, high-data storage unit that can survive in the harsh environment of space. It's built by the ARC Mission Foundation, which is an organization whose purpose is to store libraries of human knowledge and data on these devices and send them off into space with interplanetary travelers, thus preserving human achievements well beyond Earth. On the ARC that's being launched today, the Foundation has stored Isaac Asimov's classic sci-fi series, The Foundation Trilogy, which was the original inspiration for the ARC mission. And given that making humanity a multiplanetary species is the core purpose of SpaceX, launching an ARC on this mission just seemed fitting. And last but certainly not least, a little something special for our hardworking SpaceX team. Mounted on the payload attach fitting, which is the structure that holds the Roadster onto the second stage, there's a plaque on which the names of over 6,000 of our SpaceX employees are engraved. The work that goes into designing, building.
Aí, galera, vamos acompanhando aqui, né? Um abração aí pro nosso colega sonho de ser jogador de futebol, beleza, meu filho? Tamo junto aí mais uma vez nessa transmissão do Astronomia na Veia.
Falcon Heavy will put the Roadster on board into an Earth-Mars orbit around the sun on a journey that could last for 1 billion years. Now, on a universal scale, this means that the Roadster will be tracing the shape of an ellipse with the sun at one of its fixed points, or one of its foci. Now, we call this heliocentric because it is sun-centered. The outermost distance on that same ellipse will intersect the path that Mars takes while it is on its own journey around the sun. That's quite far away. That will reach a maximum distance from Earth of over 400 million kilometers. In Earth terms, that's about the same as a trip around the equator 10,000 times. But during its journey, the Roadster will also reach a maximum velocity of nearly 40,000 kilometers per hour, or about 20 times faster than a speeding bullet. Now, as we said, it should stay up in orbit around the sun for about 1 billion years, and it's a very long, exciting road ahead. And we are thrilled to be able to take the first steps on that journey just 5 minutes from now.
The SpaceX team continues the countdown for launch of Falcon Heavy test flight. Now, once we light the engines, Falcon Heavy will check the power on all 27 Merlin engines, a critical period in the go-no-go for launch. It will then command release from the ground hold downs. 40 seconds into flight, we'll decrease power on the 2 side boosters in preparation for maximum aerodynamic loads on the vehicle. Once we get through this period, Falcon Heavy will throttle back up to full power on the side boosters. About half a minute later, we will again throttle down the 2 side boosters. This time we're decreasing the forces on the rocket structure. At this point in flight, the vehicle is much lighter, having burned off much of the propellant, but we are increasing thrust. 2.5 minutes into flight.
Muito bem, galera da Astronomia na Veia. É isso aí, é o lançamento aí do Falcon Heavy, né? Mundial aí, a galera da SpaceX está todo mundo animada com mais essa grande evolução da SpaceX. Faltando menos aí de 5 minutos para o teste, né, para o lançamento do Falcon Heavy.
Center core slightly. Once the side boosters are clear, the center core will throttle up to full power and burn for another 25 seconds. Finally, at just past 3 minutes after liftoff, the center core will shut down an event called MECO, main engine cutoff, and the second stage will separate. From this point on, it's like a Falcon 9 mission. The fairing will separate, the MVAC-D upper stage engine fires, eventually sending the stage and payload out into the solar system to orbit around the sun. So that gives you a feel for the sequence of events we're planning on today's flight. So now, at T-minus 4 minutes, 45 seconds and counting, let's witness the test flight of Falcon Heavy.
Apesar que a SpaceX também relatou, né, que tudo pode também dar errado. Mas vamos torcer que tudo venha dar certo aí para a SpaceX nesse novo lançamento aí.
Throttling to close up. NY lock slow complete. NY lock slow, throttling to close up. NY lock slow complete. Stage 2 TAC motions nominal. Complete verification. Center core lock slow complete.
Trumbeck rotor has ended. Trumbeck's at 88.2 degrees.
Stage 2 LOX load complete. Falcon Heavy prep load is complete. Falcon Heavy is on internal power. Vehicles in stealth line.
Ground gas close has started.
Falcon Heavy gas loads are complete. And windy fuel bleed complete. And windy engine chills. Falcon Heavy is in startup. Stage 2 bracing for flight.
T-minus 30 seconds.
Pronto para o lançamento. Pronto para o lançamento.
Go for launch. Falcon Heavy is configured for flight.
T-minus 15, stand by for total count. 10, 9, 8,
Sub booster ignition.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, ignition.
Lançamento com sucesso do Falcon Heavy.
On our test flight, building on the history of Saturn V Apollo, returning past the interplanetary mission. We're getting ready to throttle down to a max Q. You've heard the call out. Vehicle is supersonic. Side boosters are now throttling back up to full power. We're past max Q, the period of maximum load on the vehicle. Next up, we'll be waiting for the side boosters to begin to throttle down prior to booster engine cutoff and separation 2.5 minutes into flight. GNC.
Agora com toda a expectativa para a separação dos foguetes.
Reports show that the M1D engine performance is nominal. Side boosters have begun to throttle down in preparation for the upcoming shutdown in 20 seconds. Major event coming up with side booster shutdown and separation.
Inside shutdown. Side boosters. Center. South up. That's where I'm controlling.
Separação com sucesso. Com sucesso, Falcon Heavy.
Successful separation. We're coming up on Rico and shutdown.
Stay separate.
Coming up on fairing separation.
Center core, side engines. On fire, also equal.
Por enquanto, tudo dando certo para o Falcon Heavy.
Side booster,
Olha só, essa imagem é impressionante, viu? A euforia do povo lá na SpaceX.
Wow. Wow. Did you guys see that? That was awesome. That's the only thing I can
Yeah,
really
that's
say right
absolutely wild. Absolutely wild. I got nothing else.
Oh man, recapping all the great things that you just saw there. Successful liftoff from the pad, successful stage separation, but before that, successful booster separation. You can see stage one, the two side boosters, pardon me, you can see the center core, and you can see...
Agora eles terão os 3 estágios número 1 pousando ao mesmo tempo.
Starman, chilling in the Tesla Roadster, just absolutely incredible. On your screen at the moment, you've got a few things happening. On the upper right, you've got MVAC-D continuing its burn. On the upper left, you have the center core headed back towards the autonomous spaceport drone ship. And in the two bottom screens, you've got the side boosters headed back towards Cape Canaveral Air Force Station, landing zones 1 and 2. The next step coming up.
É isso aí, galera. Mais um fato, né? Aí para a nossa ciência, né, e astronomia também, para o lançamento, né, desse foguete maravilhoso.
Just faster than the speed of sound in order to reduce some of those aerodynamic forces and heating that occurs when you're moving that quickly through the atmosphere.
And as you can see on your screen, that re-entry burn.
Agora toda expectativa para o pouso dos estágios primários.
Cape Canaveral in both of the side booster cameras as those are coming in.
Side boosters have saved. Center core entry burn shutdown.
And even though those look very similar, those two boosters views. Those are actually representing different boosters. And they're heading towards Earth. They're about to begin their landing burns. We'll hopefully be able to bring you nice footage of that.
Both side boosters short side.
And watch for the landing lights to glow at the tail end of that landing.
And that landing burn has started.
Both boosters looking to be on track towards their respective landing
Boosters
zones.
landing legs are started. Side boosters landing legs are deployed.
É isso aí, sucesso, sucesso, Falcon Heavy, sucesso, sucesso.
OZ2, both side boosters have touchdown. One out to OZ1 2, 11 out, carry to HQ8.
Coming up very shortly, the Center Core will be attempting its landing on the autonomous spaceport drone ship.
You may also be hearing the second engine cut off. Oh, check on your screen. Sometimes this footage goes out when it approaches the drone ship and the heavy vibrations make it.
Aí o pouso também do último estágio também na balsa, maravilha. Maravilha, mais um lançamento aí da SpaceX.
It looks like the landing is happening at the moment. We have lost signal. We're hoping that signal comes back shortly.
Oh man, yeah. As Michael mentioned earlier, with the vibrations of the rocket and how it shakes up the cameras that are on the drone ship, sometimes we do lose signal, or shakes up the antennas.
Oh, and we've just gotten confirmation. Oh.
We're just waiting to hear what happens, and so we're listening in, and we're still waiting to hear. We'll let you know as soon as we find out. You'll know. People are cheering, but we'll get the call and know hopefully very, very soon how that Center Core is doing, whether it's standing up proud on that drone ship or not.
Meanwhile, those were absolutely gorgeous. Meanwhile, the second stage is continuing.
Aí muita euforia lá na sede da SpaceX, todo mundo comemorando, mas esse feito histórico do lançamento do maior foguete do mundo. Todos fervorosos lá com mais esse lançamento.
It was an outstanding test flight of the Falcon Heavy. Camera cycling right now. Live views coming down from low Earth orbit. The second stage successfully got there, and it got there as a culmination of a great Falcon Heavy test flight. We lit 27 engines, throttled the boosters up and down. We separated the side boosters. They came back spectacular, simultaneous landing. The Center Core did its job. The second stage did it. Everything that you could want in a test flight, we got here. Now we're just looking for the icing on the cake to find out what happened on the drone ship.
É um grande prazer, tudo correu certo quanto à separação dos 3 estágios e tudo também ocorreu para a tranquilidade de todos, como vocês podem ver nessas imagens.
Their expertise to today's launch, the FAA for the licenses to launch and land those boosters, as well as the rest of Falcon Heavy. And thank you to you, the viewers, for joining us for a really, really cool moment here.
And to find out what happened with the Center Core and what's going on with Starman as he makes its journey through space and all of our other launches, you can visit us at spacex.com and follow us on social media, on LinkedIn and Twitter.
If you would like to join us on exciting projects like these, please visit spacex.com/careers. From the entire grateful team here, thank you again for joining us. We'll see you next time.
Agora o Tesla Roadster é o primeiro carro, né, a subir, a flutuar no espaço, como vocês podem ver nessas imagens. E também vai ser o primeiro carro a entrar em órbita, né, a se queimar aí, Tesla Roadster. E também queimando, né, a boca dos terraplanistas. Nessas imagens você pode ver ali a Terra, ali a curvatura da Terra, tudo bonitinho, tudo bonitinho. Esse é o lançamento da SpaceX, da SpaceX. É isso aí, galera. Mais uma transmissão aqui do Astronomia na Veia, né? O lançamento do Falcon Heavy, né? O primeiro foguete, o maior foguete do mundo, né? A ser lançado em órbita com, com o Tesla Roadster, né? O carro aí que está flutuando fora da órbita da Terra, né? O teste foi um sucesso, tudo foi um sucesso para a SpaceX. E tá tendo muita euforia, muita comemoração, né? Por parte das SpaceX, porque era um prazo muito esperado, né? Pela SpaceX, por todo mundo, né? Mundialmente. E até, pela, até, pelas, até pelas futuras missões, né? A Marte, pelas futuras missões à Lua. E tudo correu certo aí com o lançamento do Falcon Heavy. Agora você fica aí agora com o replay, né? O replay aí do lançamento do Falcon Heavy. É isso aí, galera. Mais uma transmissão ao vivo aqui do seu canal Astronomia na Veia. Se você gostou, né, desse vídeo, né, você já desce, já se inscreve no canal, compartilha com um amigo que curte e gosta da ciência aqui no nosso canal. É isso aí, galera. Valeu, valeu.
And back and when the fuel blade is started. Throttling to close up.
Aí, galera, o lançamento maravilhoso do Falcon Heavy, né? Como a gente pode ver aí nessas imagens recuperadas, né, nesse replay da SpaceX, foi um lançamento maravilhoso do Falcon Heavy. Ele se tornou um dos maiores foguetes da história, né, do mundo, né? A SpaceX aí inovando mais uma vez, né? Com esse lançamento maravilhoso do Falcon Heavy. A gente pôde ver o lançamento dos 3 estágios, o retorno, né, dos estágios primários, né? A abertura de coifa e também a entrega do Tesla Roadster, né? O carro aí que está fora da órbita da Terra. Foi uma maravilha o lançamento da SpaceX. Espero que vocês curtam aí esse replay aí, né? E com certeza ele vai se tornar, né, aquele que vai levar as futuras missões a Marte, a futura colonização a Marte. Ele também vai levar várias missões à Lua, né? O retorno do homem à Lua, né? É tanto que esse lançamento foi na plataforma do primeiro lançamento da Apollo, né? Do primeiro homem na Lua foi dessa plataforma aí, onde o Falcon Heavy foi lançado e tudo deu certo. Tudo deu certo para a SpaceX. Era um foguete já esperado, era um foguete já com grandes especulações se funcionaria ou não, se daria certo ou não. E acabou dando certo, né? Acabou surpreendendo a todos nós, né? Apesar que nós já sabíamos que isso poderia acontecer, mas pela direção da SpaceX, do próprio Elon Musk, ele mesmo foi muito menos pouco otimista, né, em relação a esse lançamento, prevenindo a todos que poderia dar um erro, né, poderia dar errado, que o foguete poderia explodir, que o foguete não poderia ter a capacidade de levar até a órbita da Terra, nem poderia ser lançado, e E tudo isso, né, cooperava para um grande fracasso da SpaceX. Mas como nós podemos ver aqui nesses lançamentos, que tudo deu certo. Tudo deu certo, agora a SpaceX vai estar se preparando, né, para as grandes e futuras missões, tanto de levar o homem à Lua, quanto levar o homem a Marte, né? É o desejo do Elon Musk, né, de levar o homem a Marte, de colonizar o planeta Marte, né? E também vai estar ajudando muito e bastante também as missões da NASA, né, para a estação espacial, para os turismos espaciais, né? E tudo dando certo agora com o Falcon Heavy, com certeza vai ser um dos maiores e já é um dos maiores foguetes já fabricados no mundo.
Stage 2, present for flight.
T-minus 30 seconds.
Launch director on countdown 1. SpaceX Falcon Heavy, go for launch. Falcon Heavy is configured for flight.
T-minus 15, stand by for total count. 10, 9, 8,
Side booster ignition.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, ignition.
Aí, as belíssimas imagens do Falcon Heavy voando, né? Um dos maiores foguetes do mundo, já fabricado pela SpaceX, um dos maiores protótipos, né, da SpaceX. Ele é formado por três foguetes, né, Falcon 9. Ele é formado com os motores do Falcon 9 e ele também é equipado com várias ferramentas. E esse lançamento ele foi já para mostrar, né, o tanto que a SpaceX está se inovando, né? Se inovando aí para as missões futuras, para os lançamentos futuros, né? Como você pode ver nessas imagens maravilhosas aí do Falcon Heavy, para a galera que acompanhou, para a galera que gosta e curte a ciência. Essa aí, Rafael Mota. Rafael Mota aí também aqui no brilhantando também essa transmissão do nosso canal. Rafael Mota. Passo sim, Rafael, passo sim. Vou lá na estante, lá no seu canal também, né? Porque a gente também está aqui, né? Também, né? Nessa transmissão ao vivo também para divulgar também os canais aí da galera também que curte e gosta de ciência, né? De astronomia aqui também no nosso canal, né? É isso aí, galera. Olha só que imagens maravilhosas aí da separação dos estágios, né? Do Falcon Heavy. A gente vai ver ele saindo da órbita. Foi uma grande euforia da SpaceX, uma grande euforia, né? O pessoal lá ficou todo mundo alegre, antes temerosos, né, pelo lançamento, todo mundo apreensivo, mas depois tudo correu certo, tudo deu certo. O foguete entrou em órbita, levando consigo o Tesla Roadster, né? O pessoal ficaram muito alegre e comemorando demais, né, esse lançamento da SpaceX e o retorno também dos três estágios, né? Dos três estágios primários, né, do Falcon Heavy, a sua separação e tudo mais que aconteceu com o Falcon Heavy.
Major event coming up with side booster shutdown and separation.
Inside shutdown. Side boosters.
Aí a separação, né? Esse momento aí a galera ficou eufórica, né? Com a separação dos dois estágios primários, mas a separação também do último estágio, né? Do último estágio também do Falcon Heavy, né? Que foi muito bonito também esse lançamento. Foi maravilhoso. Curti esse lançamento aqui no canal, né? Pra galera que curte e gosta da ciência, né? Que curte, né? E gosta também de lançamentos, né? E com certeza a SpaceX vai inovar, que já tem inovando, né? A SpaceX já tem se inovado, né, com esses lançamentos maravilhosos. Olha só, quando ele deixou, né, o segundo estágio, né, o segundo estágio reativou, o terceiro estágio saindo. Foi muito bom o lançamento do Falcon Heavy, foi um sucesso. Um sucesso, não deixou nada a desejar, foi abaixo daquilo que nós esperávamos, não foi. Mas também foi o começo de uma grande jornada aí do Falcon Heavy, que com certeza trará muitas alegrias aí a SpaceX, a galera que gosta de lançamento, né? Porque verão agora 3 estágios pousando, né? 3 estágios pousando na plataforma de lançamento, na plataforma de pouso, né? Como a galera que já vem acompanhando os lançamentos do Falcon 9, ele vem e pousa nos estágios, né? Esse daí foram 2 na plataforma e um deles na balsa, né? Na balsa que a SpaceX sempre usa aí na parte dos lançamentos. Olha só essas imagens do Tesla Roadster, tá vendo? Do Tesla Roadster. O primeiro carro é na órbita da Terra. Muito linda essa imagem, muito linda essa imagem aí do Tesla Roadster. E a galera lá em polvorosa, para a galera comemorando esse lançamento da SpaceX. Essa aí, essa é a transmissão aqui no nosso canal, Astronomia na Veia.
Wow. Wow. Did you guys see that? That was awesome. That's the only thing I can
That's absolutely wild. Absolutely wild. I got nothing else.
Oh man. Recapping all the great things that you just saw there. Successful liftoff from the pad, successful stage separation, but before that, successful booster separation. You can see stage 1. The 2 side boosters parting it. You can see the center core, and you can see INVAC lit up. Oh my gosh.
Then the beautiful shots of Starman chilling in the Tesla Roadster. Just absolutely incredible. On your screen at the moment, you've got a few things happening. On the upper right, you've got MVAC-D continuing its burn. On the upper left, you have the center core headed back towards the autonomous spaceport drone ship. And in the 2 bottom screens, you've got the side boosters headed back towards Cape Canaveral.
Foi muito bom fazer esse lançamento, foi muito bom as expectativas, foi muito boa também a expectativa da SpaceX. E esse é o momento mais esperado, né? Por essas imagens você pode ver que é o momento mais esperado, né, da SpaceX. O momento mais esperado era o retorno dos 3 estágios, né? Os 3 estágios do Falcon Heavy, né? E a galera já estava já esperando também isso aí, né? Da SpaceX, né? E a galera ficou empolvorosa quando esses 3 estágios pousaram, com sucesso, esse lançamento do maior foguete já construído no mundo. O maior foguete em carga, né? Ele tem a capacidade de levar aí até 60 toneladas de material de equipamento, né? Ele tem aí essa capacidade. Olha só, quando eles se acenderam, né, na reentrada ali da atmosfera para frear o empuxo, né, para frear a descida. Aí vocês podem ver que eles estão fazendo todas as manobras com aqueles jatos, né? Enquanto isso, o segundo estágio, né, está voando, né, até chegar a seu local onde ele soltará a carga, né, que é o Tesla Roadster, né, o primeiro veículo aí na órbita da Terra, né? Por essas imagens aí, vocês podem ver que é maravilhosa essas imagens, né? Aí você pode ver a imagem do primeiro estágio, né, dos 3 estágios retornando à Terra para o seu pouso, aí tanto na plataforma quanto na balsa, né, usada pela SpaceX.
And that landing burn has started.
Both boosters looking to be on track towards their respective landing burns are starting.
Aí essa imagem é maravilhosa, né? Os dois foguetes, ó, os dois estádios pousando. Aí a galera ficou enlouquecida com esses dois foguetes pousando, ó. A galera saiu do chão comemorando, né, o pouso dos dois estágios, né, do Falcon Heavy. E ainda tem um terceiro pouso, né, do terceiro estágio que pousou numa balsa, né, numa balsa que eles vão mostrar aí para vocês e foi maravilha, né? Foi maravilha, foi foi um sucesso realmente, um sucesso mesmo. Aí ó, as imagens aí da balsa aí da da SpaceX e tudo deu certo, né? Deu certo, né, para a SpaceX. Tudo deu certo para a SpaceX. É isso aí, galera. Esse aqui foi uma transmissão do nosso canal. Espero que você goste. Se você gostou, você já desce, já se inscreve no nosso canal, já compartilha com quem gosta e curte ciência aqui no nosso país, né? E também no mundo. Você já desce aí, já dá seu like, já deixa o seu joinha, se inscreve no canal, compartilha e com certeza a gente vai estar aqui trazendo e trabalhando para melhorar o canal. É isso aí, galera. Fui!